And Lucero from 580 Sports Talk with you live from Bramlage Coliseum. Thanks for staying up late for a little instant reaction. We're about an hour removed from the final buzzer tonight at the Octagon after 12th-ranked Kansas State defeated 17th-ranked TCU 82-61, a game that simultaneously the final score flatters K-State, but it also is a little bit of a fair reflection of TCU's effort. It's a game that TCU never really threatened in until late, and then K-State, with a really impressive finishing flurry, put away to seal a 21-point win, snap a 2-game losing streak, a 3-game conference losing skid, and stay in touch with the leaders in the Big 12 Conference. It was a 15-0 run that started with about 4.5 minutes to play in the game that put the game on ice. K-State led by double digits most of the second half, but never built the lead out bigger than 13. And when TCU got it to within 6 with about 4.5 minutes left, it got a little bit nervous at Bramlage Coliseum, but the usual suspects and an unusual suspect were the catalysts for Kansas State's big run. The usuals, of course, Marquise Noel and Keontae Johnson. Noel capped the run with a 3-pointer from roughly Westmoreland, and he finished the game with a game-high 18 points tonight and 7 assists. That's noteworthy for a reason we'll get to in just a moment. And Keontae Johnson had 5 points in that run. He finished the night with 14 points despite sitting for about half of the first half, a little more than half of the first half, due to foul trouble. The unusual suspect was Tyke Green. This was a game that saw Tyke Green, the transfer from Stony Brook, play more minutes than in any other Big 12 game so far this year, and he did quite a bit with his opportunity. 13 points, 9 rebounds, and some big dunks. As Kansas State shot it over 60% in the second half, and Tyke Green dunking is a high percentage shot. I say that even though he missed one in the second half, but he had a couple as part of that 15-0 run, including a finish on a 3-on-1 off an alley-oop pass from Keontae Johnson. A breakout game, and it was easy to feel good for Tyke Green afterwards, whose playing time had been spotty. In fact, against Texas, he only played 1 minute. It was the end of the first half. He committed a bad foul with less than a second left that let Texas make 3 free throws, go into the locker room with some momentum, and eventually come back and win that game on Saturday. So it was a bit of redemption for Tyke Green, and really positive to see that performance out of him and other reserves tonight. Desi Sills played a really good game, had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, did not turn the ball over. So bench production, certainly crucial for K-State in this one. Back to Marquise Noel for a moment. 7 assists tonight. The last of those makes him the all-time single-season record holder in K-State history. He passes Steve Henson with 187 assists. And, yeah, there's like 7 Big 12 games left, plus the Big 12 tournament, plus the NCAA tournament. So a pretty good chance that Marquise Noel puts that record way out of reach for Kansas State men's basketball history. A cool moment, and again, well-deserved for Marquise Noel, now the all-time single-season assist record holder. This TCU team is not the same TCU team that beat K-State handily in Fort Worth back in January. Mike Miles is out with an injury. They're hopeful that they get him back on Saturday, and they really miss him. They were pretty listless and didn't have the same kind of shot creation and dynamism offensively without him. They did get Eddie Lampkin back from an ankle injury. He hadn't started a game since January 21st, but he was a real non-factor tonight. He's still not moving well on that injured ankle. Didn't score, only had 1 rebound in 18 minutes. They were a better team with him on the floor. He was just a -6 in his 18 minutes, but right now with no Miles, with Lampkin hobbled, this is a shell of the TCU team that has been a real threat night in, night out in the Big 12. And K-State was able certainly to take advantage of that, but that's what they had to do. They had to get back on the winning track after that dispiriting home loss to Texas on Saturday. And that's exactly what they did. Even though with a 6-point halftime lead, TCU came out and immediately cut it to 2, and it felt like, well, maybe this is kind of just like the Texas game. Maybe they're going to get outworked, out-efforted in the second half again, but K-State didn't let that happen. They went on a push. Desi Sills was a big part of keeping TCU at arm's length early in the half, and very important, as was Tyke Green, in shipping in with the bench scoring. They had between the two of them, 27 of the 29 K-State bench points in this one. So the Cats, 19-5, 7-4 in the league, a game and a half out of first place, I guess you would say. We haven't seen Iowa State play yet. They play tomorrow. So Iowa State could potentially drop back to the pack with the 4-loss pack, and it would be Texas all alone in first still after their loss to Kansas. Or it could be a two-way tie, depending again on Wednesday's results. K-State's back in action Saturday. They go on the road to Lubbock to try and sweep the season series with Texas Tech. That'll do it from Bramlage Coliseum. Again, thanks for staying up late for this instant reaction video. We'll be live to break this all down and, of course, talk plenty of Super Bowl 57 on the Sports on 580 family of shows. Mic'd up from noon to 3, 580 Sports Talk from 3 to 6 tomorrow on 580 WIBW. Until then, I'm Dan Lucero saying so long from the Octagon of Doom.